Okay, it's a quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. No cuts, no edits, no filters, and no hair. And I'm here on another anonymous industrial estate, another car video, and I am wishing that I could invent a t-shirt that would iron itself, but there you go. So today's video, I want to go into a very quick one about the top 10 skills that are still likely to be able to pay you in 10 years' time. Now, we all know that jobs come and go. AI is going to make that more so than ever. But skills, skills are something that are going to keep you fed. They're going to keep your family, hopefully, in very nice things, and they're going to keep the bailiffs from your door. But this list of 10, these ones will still matter, or so I believe, in 2035. Maybe more so than they do even now. And I'm going to tell you why. So from the off, number one is sales. Now, although AI and automations have the ability to find leads, they don't have the ability really to sell to them. People buy from people. They need that human experience. There's something very impersonal about buying from a process or a system rather than buying from a person. And also, you can't haggle with a system. So every business needs customers. That's a given. Every business needs salespeople to sell their products, pretty much. So if you can sell, you can eat, and it's really that simple. And sales isn't something you're born with. I mean, people used to say that, somebody is born with the gift of the gab, which means they've got the ability to talk themselves in or out of situations. That obviously helps, but that can be learned. It's something you can learn online for free. And you can sell pretty much anything nowadays. So, there's lots of scope out there. So another one, and this may come as a surprise given AI, but copywriting. Now, the reason for this is that the internet runs on words. Now, yes, AI can do copywriting. I've not witnessed anything from AI that's been as good as a human yet. There are certain aspects of copywriting that AI just seems to fall over and struggle on. And I believe also that AI can't put a personal touch, and probably won't be able to for a long, long time, into copywriting, because that comes from experience, from personal experience, which is something that AI really is never going to have. So good copywriting equals good money. But the emphasis there is on the word good. You can't just churn out any cobblers and expect it to work or expect it to be saleable. Another one, number 3, is video editing. Now, things like TikTok, YouTube, brand ads, all the rest of it, demand for this is utterly exploding as more and more people come into the creator marketplace. Whether it's people like me that just put videos up as a form of therapy for themselves to cure a bit of ADHD, it kind of scratches an itch for me. Whether you're a YouTuber that makes a load of money out of it and it's a full-time career for you. Video editing is something that's a bit of a pain point for many. Now, for myself, I've made the process easy because my videos, I do everything in one take. I trim the front, I trim the back, and that's basically it. And it just goes up. So I've made my life very pain-free. There are proper YouTubers that like to do things a bit more professionally, and they put graphics and kind of, text and ends and, intros and everything else on it. I can't be arsed with all of that, but there is a big market for it because it takes time. And like anything, if you can alleviate pain for somebody, you're giving them the ability to buy their time back by having you spend your time alleviating their pain, then you can obviously make money. So that for now is something that's still very much going to be human driven. Number 4, and this is a big one, obviously, is personal finance. Now, there's nothing sexy about it. You can still use AI to help with number crunching, but as far as the logic and the processes and the sort of real life figures, the actual tapping into the how in terms of saving money or making money, AI is still not that great. It can give you lists of things that might help you, but it doesn't really do much more than that. And it's not sexy, but it is life-changing. So if you understand debt, if you understand investing, if you understand taxes and the different tax systems and all the nuances and all the loopholes, then obviously you can charge for that because it's highly beneficial. And I believe that over the next 5, 10, maybe even 15 years, as the country sadly goes into further decline, and our resources are eaten up and money becomes harder to make and harder to hold on to, personal finance is going to be a growth industry, massively so. More and more people are going to want to get more and more from their money, and they're going to want to exploit those loopholes that get them money off their taxes and everything else. If you know this, you can charge for it. Now, another one, number 5, and this is a bit of a, I suppose, a bit of a weird one, but self-discipline. It's the rarest of skills, and yeah, it outperforms talent almost every time. Now, self-discipline, you would think because of the name self-discipline, it's not something that can be taught, but it can. I mean, you teach yourself self-discipline. You can teach it to others. You can impart it to others. If you think about it in the most logical sense, self-discipline is taught by rehab, sort of hospitals and places like that. Somebody goes in there with an abuse issue, whether it's substance or otherwise, and they're taught to self-discipline themselves not to do that thing again, or to think a different way about it, or to reframe it. So self-discipline can be taught. Most of the self-discipline that I've got, I have taught myself. Some of it was instilled into me by my parents, obviously, and by teachers, but most of it I have taught myself. And if you set yourself up with systems that you follow, with ways of doing things that you don't break, I mean, that's massively valuable. And like I said, it is probably the rarest skill. I know plenty of people out there that have got zero self-discipline, zero self-control, and that plays havoc with their personal lives and especially their finances. Whereas if you have self-discipline, you don't need to go and buy that meal deal, that Costa twice a day and cost yourself $2,000 a year. You don't need to upgrade your car as soon as a new one comes out. You know, you don't need to do this or do that. You've got the self-discipline just to sit back and think, nah, it can wait. It's a great skill to have. Now, the 6th one, and this is another weird one, is public speaking, or just communications in general. Whether it's leading, whether it's teaching, whether it's inspiring people, whatever it might be. This is something that is a skill. It's something that AI is not really going to be able to do. I don't feel inspired by AI. I feel thankful because of it, because it makes aspects of my job much easier, much faster, and then enables me to concentrate on other less menial things. But I don't find it inspiring. Maybe I'm using it wrong, but there you go. But these skills, leading, teaching, being inspirational, it's all communication and it's vital. People learn best from people. I could sit there and read a book on science and the planets, and I'd have an understanding of what's going on. I've read the content. But if you listen to somebody like Brian Cox do a lecture on YouTube, the way he puts things across, the way he gesticulates, the way he uses metaphor and simile in a way that AI never could. This is how you truly learn. And I learn more from watching somebody like Brian Cox teach me about the planets and the solar system and physics and whatever else than I ever would from a book or from a web page. So there is something massive in communication and also public speaking. I mean, that's a very underrated skill as well. Even just the ability not to go and like I do all the time is a great skill to have. It literally makes you seem like you know exactly what you're talking about. Now, another good one is basic coding. Now, this is number 7. Now, you no longer need to be a web developer to do coding on a basic level. but you do understand that tech is non-negotiable. There is no future where tech is not going to be a part of it. There's no future where computing is not going to be a part of it. And so basic coding will always be needed. Now, basic coding can be done by AI. You can use things like ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity or any number of AI tools to spit out basic code for you, whether it's Python or JavaScript or whatever it might be. However, having used some of this AI-generated code and tried to make it work within the confines of what I do, i.e. building websites, it is still very hit and miss. Bits of it are great, bits of it work fantastically, but it still needs a human that knows what they're doing to go over it and pick through it and make sure there are no errors. AI won't get this right for a very long time. Coding goes from very basic to incredibly complex, but it all starts with the basics. So a basic knowledge of coding will certainly put you in good stead for many of the jobs that have not yet been invented that are going to come over the next 10 years. And it's something you can learn for free online. You can learn it, get started at any age. The barrier to entry is incredibly low. And it is also very, very easy to get competent very quickly, which is great when learning anything because you actually see yourself progress at a rate of knots rather than being a very slow process. Now, probably the most controversial one on here, number 8, is content creation. Now, obviously, again, AI, the main, I guess, hazard with this type of work. Content creation's had its ups and downs over the last couple of years, but influence equals leverage, and you can use both to create income. Every company is a media company now, whether they like it or not. And what I mean by that is the way that marketing's gone, the way that engagement has gone, the way that lead generation, finding customers has gone. All companies now, pretty much all companies, have got a Facebook page or they've got a Google presence, whether it's on search or maps or what used to be Google My Business, or whatever it might be, or even just a throw up website. They've all got some method of hanging their contact details, a contact form, and a little bit about what they do. So that's never going to go away. You know, that's only going to become more and more prevalent. And obviously with advertising and marketing, which is what that is, that's what media basically helps with, you've got content creation. Now, AI can be used to create videos, it can be used to create content. However, it's very cookie cutter. Unless you go over that afterwards, and again, needs a human touch, unless you go over it, you're going to end up with carbon copied content that the AI has spat out to the other 100,000 users that day that have used it globally for exactly the same question. So don't think for one moment that the response that you get from AI is unique to you, because it's not. It's a large language model that it's trained on. It's trained on different aspects of our life, whether it's society, whether it's history, whether it's interactions between humans on social media, things like Twitter, whatever. But it can't create full human level content. And there will always be the human element that's the most important element in content creation. AI can help do some of the heavy lifting. It can find images, it can do overlays, it can do color matching, and some of the more laborious stuff. But as far as being inspired to create, I've not seen AI do anything that comes very close to what a human can do at this point. So for that reason, content creation, proper inspired content creation, is going to be around for probably another sort of 5-10 years in its current form. And you never know, maybe when AGI or whatever's going to come out after that is around, then that may change the script a little bit. Who knows? Number 9 is critical thinking. So AI can outsmart you on some things. It certainly can. It's certainly got gigabytes and gigabytes of memory more than you. in terms of what it can store and what it can pull from in terms of resources. I mean, it's like having Wikipedia and the whole of the internet at your fingertips at times. However, critical thinking, AI can't outthink you, not yet. Being able to assess whether something is relevant and whether it's true or whether it's bullshit is still definitely a very human trait. And AI, although AI, given enough information, could reliably tell you with some accuracy if something is true or false, it's referring from multiple sources, not from experience. And I think humans have many more markers that they can refer to tell you whether something's true or false, whether it's valid or whether it's BS. AI is not there yet. So critical thinking is a skill that will very much still be around in the next 10 years, I think at least. And finally, number 10, conflict resolution. So maybe a controversial one, but online and offline, let's face it, right now with everything that's going on, the world and the UK all seems a bit angry. I'm sure that we've all seen the videos on YouTube from the auditors that go round filming people just in the streets. More recently, filming people at protests and all the other stuff that's going on. The world is an angry place, and the UK is probably more angry than the rest of the world. I think right now the UK's probably got old school Middle East levels of anger going on. And the ones who can calm it, well, I mean, they're probably in a pretty good place right now, aren't they? Because they've got something they can offer that, let's face it, is probably priceless at the moment. The ability to resolve conflict. Now, although AI could help with this, and I have actually tried this, Elon Musk's AI, which is called Grok, Grok, you can download it as part of Twitter. You can download it and log in with a Twitter account. Grok has within it, apart from a load of other weird and very funny stuff, it's actually got a therapist. And I've used this, and the AI therapist is absolutely crazy. It's crazy funny, crazy good, and also crazy clever. But it's very general, and it can only react on what you feed it, and it can only spit out what it can kind of draw from. So again, it comes down to experience. It comes down to that personalization. It comes down to empathy. And AI doesn't really have any of those. It just knows what it's been fed within the confines of the large language model that it's been given to work from. So conflict resolution, and I think, to be fair, the world could use a bit of that, or maybe even a lot of that right now. So look, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, I've waxed lyrical for almost 20 minutes about my top 10 skills that I think are still going to be relevant and possibly you can earn from in the next 10 years. What are your thoughts on it? Let me know. Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Drop it in the comments. Have I missed any that are obvious? Let it all out. Let people know. So YouTube is going to put another video there. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz, and there will likely be another video tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.